Hello, welcome to my Alain and Sons compound guide for Hunt Showdown. First, we'll be looking into player spawns and what to watch on the way from your spawn to the first clue. If I get the farthest south spawn for Alain, I would typically just head towards Blanchett for the double clue, but if you want to go to Alain, you might be able to catch people running from the northern spawn towards the center building. You come up this path, and then straight ahead, you'll see a white building about now. That is where people will be running first to get to the bridge and cross to the main building. This is the northernmost spawn for Alain and Sons. Typically, I like to push straight up towards the cage and then swing a right to get an angle on the northwestern spawn. You'll see me ping that here in just a second. This is the spot that I was referring to in the last clip. I will typically run straight up and look to try and catch someone off guard as they cross from the northern spawn. At that point, if no one crosses, I rotate to the house to my right and go across the land bridge to get main quickly without going through water. Now comes the interesting part of the video, useful angles and sneaky spots. When fighting in the lanes, a major hotspot is the main building, shown here. Typically, I like to push up to this west side building and get an angle on the top of the roof. This gives me line of sight on the western door and a window directly below it into the layer. Working our way up from the last spot, I like to play this place with a rifle. From here, I can see the second floor main door. I can push up, I can see the first floor southern door and the window. It's relatively safe to peek with long ammo and a pretty good place to hold overall. You also have line of sight into the white house that also spawns the clue. Let's say that you're playing a shotgun and you're trying to get into the main building. From here, enemies have concertinaed off the sliding door, the first floor door, and all the other entrances. A way to get into the site safely is to go up on these stairs, jump over to the railing, head over to the boxes on the far right. If the window's been shot out, you can jump across, strafe into the window, and you'll be in sight, ready to contest. On the opposite side of things, if someone's trying to siege your second floor main door with a shotgun, you can run to the left, hop out on this railing, the overhang, and then jump onto the light fixture. From there, you have easy line of sight onto any shoddy dude that's trying to rush you. If you have a sniper and you're trying to hold first floor from people pushing in from the south, you can play this long angle. It will give you a direct line of sight onto the White House from the southern side towards Blanchett, along with the head glitch that people like to play. This angle's a nasty one. You'll want to come over to the boards right beside the main northern stairs and crouch. From here, you can see directly onto the platform straight northeast of you. It's the one directly to the left of the White House out that way. You can see people's heads as they swing peek that to try and get an angle on the main door, and you get free kills. It's much easier if you have a sniper or a marksman. This is the angle I was referring to in the previous clip. This is what they will see versus what you will see. You come back, you swing out on the door, and you're challenging the second floor, and then you get headshot from a dude that you can't see. The only time I wouldn't recommend using this angle is if you have a bayo, because it might stick through the wall and leave you open for an easy headshot. Another angle to challenge the people coming in from the east, you hop onto this table on the second floor, and then run and vault onto the stacks directly in front of you. From there, you can crouch on these stacks and get an angle into that White House. It's similar to the previous one shown, but it gives more coverage. Typically, people don't check this off angle, as they're looking for people crossing head height on the window at just ground level second floor. It works better with the blinds closed, so that people don't see your feet more clearly, but you still have a very good angle on them. You can challenge off of this base second floor window, but in my experience, it's much safer to play the second floor boost stacks. Good players will be looking for a change in color on the blinds to realize that you're peeking, and then just headshot you when you do a semi-consistent strafe. If you hear people coming main stairs, one thing you can do, if you're playing with a rifle, is fall back to this wooden lift, drop down onto the shelves, and then play this as a makeshift head glitch. It's an off angle, so people won't expect it, and it'll give you that range to not get one tapped by a Romero. If enemies are challenging the north side of the building, you can hop up on this barrel to get a long angle and get a little bit safer peek from here. It helps if you have a sniper or a marksman scope, but you can do it with irons too. It's much safer than coming up to this window where they have peeker's advantage on you. They can see your body before you peek out and you can see theirs. You can also play the stacks directly behind you. On the other side of things, if you're challenging people inside the building from outside, you can come over by this northernmost white building where the clue spawns, hop back into this mound, and get a nasty angle into the site itself. If you're engaging enemies inside the building from the northernmost spawn, you can run up and take the mound from here. You'll have a good line of sight on the railing from here, and then if you stand up and go to the left, you can see through the doors and onto people challenging east side. You need a sniper or a marksman to do this effectively. If you're coming in from Raynard Mill and Lumber, you can go over to the left to get an angle on the eastern window where people typically challenge and approach. You go to the trees, and then you can play a nasty angle that they won't typically see you from, with hard cover that they can't shoot through. From there, you can see the window and the balcony. If you're approaching from Blanchette, if you have a sniper rifle, you can play the woods back on ping. You can rotate a little bit to the west to get a better angle. If you have irons, you can challenge from this angle right here, second floor window, the run out, or the first floor window that's peeking towards you. You want to be careful not to peek into multiple angles at once and clear them so that you don't get headshot when you're not paying attention. Alternatively, you can push up onto this ramp by the southern White House, use the metal crane as cover, and challenge the first floor window safely. You can also rotate into this white building. You can get roof, but I wouldn't recommend it as there's no cover and you're very vulnerable if you get downed. You can challenge balcony from inside here. If no one's on balcony, you can wide swing this window and challenge first. If you did manage to get a down on the east side of the building, you can play this awning, the overhang, directly by the window, and wait for the sound of a res, and you can nade it out. If the blinds are closed, you can also nade through the glass on top. If you're trying to get ground and make it to the main doors on the north side, you'll want to be wary of the side door. It's barricaded, so you have to break it down, but you can hear when they open it. If they swing on you, expect a Romero or a Winnie. Besides that, you'll want to stick close to the wall so that you don't get headshot by someone playing the window directly above. It helps to close the blinds, but you don't necessarily have to. Just be aware. If you've taken second floor balcony and you have a down on the eastern window, good players will be expecting you to play this position right here. They will probably attempt to wallbang you or aim check you with a shotty. I like to play this left side overhang because it's much safer, and when people run out, there's a good chance they won't be looking at you directly. When you hear someone going for the res, you can push it safely and get an easy kill. Next, we'll be looking at common engagement locations and rotations onto site. Typically, if you're holding inside the boss layer, someone will be playing the second floor window watching the approach from Blanchette, as it's a common rotation. You can play the first floor for an alternate angle. People typically hold this eastern window, or a challenge on balcony, which is the least safe of the three. You can come over and you can challenge the approach from the north, but people don't typically push this way. If you hear people rolling up from the eastern side at Raynard Mill and Lumber, expect to push towards the White House from the foliage. People commonly use that White House for hardcover and the trees behind it to get pushed up and to challenge from a couple different angles on there where you can't see them. Expect that. Expect the head glitch right here on the stairs, and then expect people in the woods behind, or from the red house, since there's a set of stairs that they can challenge there too. Finally, if they do rotate off of the White House to the north side, it's relatively easy to track their location because it's a bunch of water behind there. You can determine where they're going to peek based off of the sound cues that they're making, and it makes for a relatively easy engagement. You can challenge from balk, but it leaves you exposed to a couple different angles. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.